Hey guys, my name is Mooney and welcome to my channel. This is my very first YouTube video in like probably 5 years, if not longer. Definitely my first video of this style where I do a speed build and kind of talk over it to you guys. I'm super excited to start making this kind of content, especially with Planet Zoo. This is one of my all-time favorite games. I'm just now starting to get into the building aspect of it rather than just like throwing up a basic shelter for your animal. So it's been really fun to discover different ways to build things, different ways to do the backstage areas, and all the kind of ways to make the game seem a little bit more realistic. I'm definitely going to stick with Planet Zoo content a lot of the times, but I want this channel just to be kind of like a place where we hang out, play whatever game we're feeling that day, and if that happens to be Planet Zoo, cool. If it's something else, that'd be fun too. But that's as much as I'll say about the channel in general. We can get to the actual Planet Zoo content. So like the title of this video says, and probably why you clicked on it, is today I am building a primate house. So I wanted this to be just a build of just the building itself where the primates are housed, but with two different exhibit animals. So on the left side, if you're looking at it on the here, we'll have the gorillas by themselves, and then on the right side we'll have a mixture of orangutans and lar gibbons. I like that you can do the interspecies enrichment with them and get kind of, a little more primates in the primate house. I wanted this building to be something that the guests could walk through or have an opportunity to be up close and personal with the primates if they're inside due to weather or whatever it is. I think that's some of my favorite memories growing up going to the zoo, is being able to go into a primate house and be right up against the glass and be right next to a gorilla. You can kind of see all the details in their fingers and their face and their eyes, and they're just really cool animals to sit and look at. They're also kind of terrifying, especially the silverbacks. Pretty scary to be that close to, but I think it's a super cool opportunity in real life and in the game for guests at a zoo to be that close to a gorilla, especially because they kind of look like us. So it's just cool to be able to have the opportunity to sit and look at them that close. Here I'm doing the area where the primates will actually be when they come in from outside, so I did the whole bottom floor concrete just so the keepers could hose it out. This part that I'm doing is actually the backstage area for the keepers themselves. I also did that concrete. I felt kind of bad about doing the area where the gorillas are with concrete because I don't feel like that's very comfortable, but I also feel like that's probably the most realistic, so we went with the concrete. In the backstage area where the keepers will be, I wanted there to be natural lighting for them, and I think it would be important too, if the primates had to be back in the backstage area, that they would get natural lighting as well. So I put those windows back there, both for the keepers and the primates. Here I'm doing the little door entryway. I wanted the gorillas to be able to come in and out, just like in a real zoo. If it started raining, or if they wanted to just go inside and relax, or if it got too hot, I wanted them to have the option to go inside from the outside in their exhibit. One thing about me too is when I play Planet Zoo, I will build something and then I will delete it and I will change it and rebuild it multiple times. So that's what I'm doing here, is just adding brick walls instead of wood to the background. I did mention earlier that I am new to building, so I am not super into these small, tiny details for backstage areas like the fencing and the cages that they would have in the backstage area. So I did outsource these. This is from the lion shelter / like backstage area from Caesar Creates off the Steam Workshop. I'll put a link down below to that in the workshop, so if you wanted to download it, you can. Crazy amazing build. I look up to people like Caesar who have the patience and the capability to use these tiny itty bitty pieces and make them into things like these cool pieces of fence, even with like the little bowls that turn around so that the keepers could interact with the gorillas without having to go in there. Amazing work, and I love that I can use those in here instead of having to do that. I mean, look at that piece of fence. That thing is tiny. So yeah, huge shout out to creators like Caesar who put their stuff on the workshop so that people like me, who might not have the patience to build the teeny tiny pieces, still have the ability to have really cool backstage areas for their keepers and to give that real feel to the buildings that we're building instead of just throwing up like a square box for our animals. This is another set that I frequently reference when I need small pieces like these sliding doors or fencing for backstage areas. This is by Lidar, so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, on the Steam Workshop. This is their African dog backstage area. Another set of super cool fences. I love these like sliding doors that would in real life the keepers would open or close, like if the zoo's closed, bring them inside, or if you need to keep them inside for whatever reason. I just love that it has those trap doors that you can add little details like that as well. One thing I will say I'm not good at with building is getting things to be straight and together. A lot of times I place something, and this might be the same for everyone, but I place something and then I have to rotate it like 20 times before it's even remotely close to what I was thinking. I also didn't even think about the size of the backstage area on this half of the shelter, so I definitely had to move these walls quite a bit to get them to be symmetrical to how the other side was. This is me yet again doing what I mentioned earlier, where I will build something and then I'm like halfway through the build and I decide I don't like it and there's a better way to do it. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought in a backstage area you probably don't want windows like animal level, so for the more natural light vibe I wanted them up a little bit higher. I'm also using yet another Steam Workshop download for the backstage kitchen area. This one's by Zemfira. Again, sorry if I butchered that, but it's just like a sink, shelves, it looks like a little refrigerator with some food. Did that for the backstage area. I also added the keeper hut back there just to hide that building and have it be used. I have to say the conservation tools and little details that they have for the backstage areas are some of my favorite little details in any of the DLC packs. I love the little hooks and the little like tools that the keeper would use to clean out the stalls or change the bedding or whatever. I love them so much and I feel like they add so much detail wise. I don't know if gorillas eat pumpkins, but I just pretended like they do, or maybe it's an enrichment item that they're washing back there. We just had to put pumpkins in the sink. I also like to put toys back in the enrichment area. In my brain, they would like switch them out every once in a while to keep them fresh, or if they break, I'm sure monkeys break a lot of toys, so we added some toys back there as well. Also these little clipboards for like notating animal information, whatever on the stalls. Then I got to decorating the inside, like where the gorillas would be hanging out. That hammock is one of my favorite enrichment items, even though gorillas can't use it. I feel like every time there's a primate house, there's like cute hammocks and stuff for them to sleep in. I feel like the hay bedding is also perfect for a primate house because you always see cute videos of gorillas like throwing hay around or just hiding in it. They're so cute. I also love building climbing structures for smaller monkeys, even though things like this rope are kind of a pain in my ass. So worth it in the end. I got a video actually at the very end of the Lar gibbons running across the rope and they look so funny. And I thought to myself, well, that was worth all the pain and suffering of making sure the ropes were correct. But I love inside real primate houses, how it's like ropes and platforms and just stuff for them to do while they're inside, because I wouldn't want them to get bored if they're stuck indoors. So I always keep in mind, like if they're locked in here, do they have enough to do? So I added more climbing ropes. I also added the little mirror toy for them, and I managed to get the foraging box in here, which is an enrichment item, I believe, for the Larp Gibbon. Could be the orangutan, but I don't think it was for the gorilla. Another shout out to a creator on the Steam Workshop. This is the Modern Education Console by Bold on Steam. These signs are super cool because they're actually functioning habitat signs, but all you have to do is switch out the little sign of the animal and then it's like customized to whatever habitat or exhibit you're putting it by. I love them so much. We'll be using them from now on. I also wanted to add some planters inside of the building. I tend to build my zoos by biome, so this will be a jungle area of the zoo, and I wanted to bring the plants in to kind of have that jungle feel in the building as well. As I thought about it more with the natural lighting with the windows, I thought it'd be kind of nice to have that even if they weren't back in the backstage area. If they're just inside in their regular sleeping area, some natural light from outside would probably be good, so I added some more windows. The rest of the video is pretty self-explanatory build-wise, so this is where I'm going to stop talking your ear off and meet you at the end of the video. I think this might be our last Steam Workshop download shout out of the video. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. This is the Children's Playground by Bake & Play on the Steam Workshop. This thing is freaking amazing. This is another one of those moments where I see this in the workshop and I have no idea how people can take small little pieces and build something like an entire playground out of it. So I had to put it in the zoo somewhere, and I thought it'd be cute to have like a monkeying around themed playground right outside the Primate house. I did some monkey kind of decorations as well to kind of tie it in with the Primate house, but I love it so freaking much, and I'm so baffled at the talent with people who build. One day I will be making videos, making amazing builds in Planet Zoo, but until then, we're just going to appreciate the people that upload their amazing work on the Steam Workshop. There you have it! The Primate house is complete. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think the building itself is kind of a funky shape, but I think for it being like my biggest build from scratch, it's not too shabby. I wanted to get a guest view of what it would look like to walk in and see the gorillas and see how up close and personal you could get to them. I loved that they were all in here when I was doing this little walkthrough. It was kind of perfect timing. Here is that super cute video of the Lar Gibbons running across the rope where I was like, oh yeah, That was so worth it. The little arms up while they run is so funny to me, and it literally made the entire struggle with the rope worth the entire thing. Like I said before, this is my first speed build video, so thank you so much for watching it to this point. If you have any tips or tricks to help me with these videos, let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you have the time, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye!